Welcome to the Emotionally Baked podcast, where emotions and baking are the two most perfect ingredients. Hello, and welcome back to the Emotionally Baked podcast, where we talk about our emotions, all while baking something yummy in the hopes of working it out. Thanks for joining me again for another episode. Today is nervousness and some nut candy. I am super excited for this one. It's the holidays, y'all. I have been baking up a storm and not remembering to record anything. You just get so involved. So Sunday here, where I am, snowed, and it just looked gorgeous. It was like all the winter feels, and I just got on a baking kick. I woke up really early, and I made a batch of sugar cookies, a batch of gingerbread cookies, a batch of chocolate chip oatmeal cookies, cranberry white chocolate chip oatmeal cookies. So 4 separate batches of cookies, and it was just a cookie day. And I love baking at the holiday season, but baking different things, because I bake cookies for my family during the year, when we need a little treat and stuff like that. But I don't normally bake the little candy things. That's really saved for the holidays. And I think I'm actually at some point going to make even Buckeyes. If you've never made Buckeyes candy look like the Buckeye nut, which is like another quote nut candy. They look like the Buckeye nut, but they are just peanut butter dipped in chocolate. It's amazing, so good. It's like a homemade Reese's. It's so yummy. But today we're gonna do some like drop candy, and I may even make some like candied pecan like pralines. We'll see how the time goes. Okay, so today we are talking about nervousness. And nervousness, I think you can have nervousness in all of the things and if you have anxiety like I do. But there's different types. Obviously, there's different types. Like when I was in high school, I used to be in like band and all that kind of thing. And there would be nerves before like a concert or that type. There's nervousness before I asked a boy out. That's a nervousness in high school. Or when you're going to get asked out, there's nervousness. There's nerves before you take a test, or before you, I don't know, just a whole bunch of things. Before I had each of my kids, I was super nervous. Nerves just happen, I think, across the gamut. And we're going to get into talking why I'm particularly nervous right now and a little jittery. But as we do that, I'm going to go ahead and kind of show you my brainstorming here about this candy. So there's no real recipe for this candy. It's just really what your heart wants. And my heart wanted this candy. So I'm super lucky. My stepdad got me tons. I have pounds of pecans, shelled, glorious pecans. And I always try to find stuff to do with them, whether it's pecan pie or this candy. I have these nuts on hand, and I'm sure I'll run out eventually. But my daughter wanted cashews, and so I have cashews too. Cashews I love. I do love a lot. So I have cashews. So I have cashews and pecans. Those are just 2 of my favorite. And I have lots of different chocolates. So I have some semi-sweet chocolate, I have some dark chocolate, I have some white chocolate, and I have this is called white chocolate bark, or white, I can't remember what it's actually called in the store. It's like candy bark. So it's not really like as sweet as white chocolate. It's a little bit tamer. To me, white chocolate is so sweet because if you look at a package, I have a package here of white chocolate. White chocolate literally is just sugar, milk. It's very, very, very sugary. Dark chocolate, however, has at least, has the cocoa butter in it, and cocoa, so it's a little bit more. And I like the bitter dark chocolate, but my family, they don't all like that. So I kind of want to mix it up and make something for everybody. So I have tons of little bowls here because we've got to do a lot of little dividing and mixing and all the things. So I'm trying to come up with like mixtures that I think are yummy. This could be different for anybody. So what I'm thinking, I'm just kind of brainstorming here. I'm thinking I'm going to do some cashews with, and the other element is I have dried fruit. So I have raisins and I have dried cranberries. I find that those really mesh well with chocolate and the nuts that I have. Okay, so I'm gonna mix them up. I'm thinking I'm liking the cashew with both the raisins and the cranberries, and then I might mix and do them in different chocolates. I think that's what I'm gonna do. And then the pecans, I like pecans with kind of like more of like a turtle element, like a caramel element, but I don't know. I might just do like pecan clusters. I might just do pecan, I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on the pecans. I'm not quite sure. Actually, my daughter has some caramel candies in the pantry. If they're soft ones, I might make some turtles. We'll see. Okay, so what is going to happen is I'm going to put my chocolate into a microwave safe bowl to melt. That's the first step. And my secret to melting chocolate and to making it look pretty on the other side when it's all set is that you melt your chocolate. There's different ways that you can melt chocolate. You can just melt it like in a double broiler. I've done that before. You can melt your chocolate in the microwave. That's my kind of go-to because it's easy. You can put either some butter to kind of help the melting process. I like to use oil. To me, when I melt the chocolate with oil, it gives kind of like a sheen, like a pretty glossy prettiness to the chocolate when it's done. So I do that. I just put a little bit, maybe like a tablespoon with this filled bowl of chocolate. And we're gonna do it at like 60-second increments, or like first we're gonna do a minute and then stir it, see how it looks, and then like 30, 30, 30 until it gets totally melted. It doesn't take longer for me than that, or maybe like a minute or two, so it should go pretty quickly. All right, so once they're melted, I'm gonna just take a bigger bowl and we'll just toss everything together and then drop them on a tray. Okay. So while I get the first chocolate melted, we'll talk about what in the world am I nervous about? Okay. Okay, so we have our chocolates melted. And yeah, let's chat a sec. So, all the things that I listed before, all the things to be nervous about, I'm nervous about taking a next step. I have been working on something for a very, very, very long time. And I don't want to give it away just yet. It has nothing to do with cooking. It has nothing to do with baking. It has nothing to do with my podcast. It is just something I've been passionate about and that I just felt called to do a very long time ago. It has to be like, oh my goodness, over 5-6 years ago now, I've been working on said project. And it's at a point where it's almost ready. And I am nervous. I'm nervous about putting myself out there. I'm nervous about what people are going to say. And I don't want to be that type of person to care about other people's, like, I don't care. If I felt, if I feel pulled to do it, I should feel pulled to do it and don't care about other people, come on, Heather. But if you are human like me, putting yourself out there is definitely a leap of faith. It takes a lot of, to get rid of that nervous energy. It takes a lot to, take the breath and just jump in. So, yeah. Okay, we'll talk more about why I'm nervous and then how can we get over stuff like that. How can we, I don't know. Still working on it. Okay, so I have divided 2 bowls. This is my cashews and raisins. This is my cashews and cranberries. Now, I know that I want to do a mixture of both. These are smaller bowls, so I want to do some dark chocolate of both and some white chocolate of both. I know. I feel like okay, so I don't know how to do this. So I might just take out, okay, so this is the bigger mixing bowl. So my hands are clean. Apologies. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to mix the dark first. So what I'm going to do is in this bowl, I'm just going to drizzle over some of the melted chocolate. Okay. And making candy is super easy. I feel like it's just what you like and what works and what's yummy. I've always said that if the ingredients are yummy and they're supposed to go together, not like, because chocolate's yummy and to me garlic is yummy. I don't know if I'd put the two together, but so anyways, so yeah, the ingredients are yummy and they're supposed to go together, it'll be yummy. So I've mixed up all these ingredients, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to plop them on a lined baking sheet into like nice little clusters, like little cashew clusters, and these will go in the refrigerator so that they can solidify and harden up. So I'm only doing about a tablespoon of each. And then I'll put the cranberries in this bowl because this is all going to be the dark chocolate bowl. Okay, I'm back. I had to go take a second and shush up my parakeets. They're actually my son's parakeets. They're so loud. And it doesn't matter what time I'm filming. If they hear my voice, it's like they want to talk along with me. And it's so frustrating. So I have to cover them up and put a blanket like they're going night-night. Okay. So now I've covered the cashews and cranberries. We're going to put those in here too. And I'm going to start on the white chocolate in the other bowl. Okay, so like I said, I think I'm nervous about putting myself out there. That's a big one. And I think you can still hear them. This is ridiculous. I'm hoping that my microphone is better and keeping them away, but oh my goodness. Anyway, What was I going to say? Yeah, my nervousness. Yeah, I'm trying to see reason in the sense of like, Heather, you're older now. Like, it's okay. You know, look at that. They look so yummy. Like, who cares what people say or what they're going to think? Okay, now we're going to start the white chocolate. I think it's just because, yeah, I'm like, what am I doing? Yeah, white chocolate. I think it's because I might have to do a little bit. I didn't have enough white chocolate to split up, so I might have to do a little bit more. I think I'm nervous because this is something that I'm not really, I don't want to say known for, because am I really that known? No, it's something that is different for me because a lot of people just know me as either the artist or the podcaster. I podcast on here. I podcast for my church. I do online hosting for, so I'm more of the audiovisual, and my family is more of the audiovisual. So it's like, I'm not really known. Like, and I don't want somebody to come and be like, well, who does she think she is doing that? Kind of thing. But I don't know. I feel like I need to, I need to kind of embrace it. You know what I'm saying? Embrace this is already coming together, and I haven't even gotten it out of the bowl. Like, oh my goodness, come on. What in the world? The candies are already coming together before I get them into their little respective. Oh, you got to be quick with this. You really do. You've got to be quick with this candy, because if you're not, it will solidify and come together before you know it. I like the sourness of cranberry mixed with the salty of the cashew. That's very good. That's very good. Okay, we've gotten our candies here on our tray. I don't think I need to put them in the refrigerator. They're literally... All right, so all of our coated candy is sitting on a tray, just kind of resting out over there, and we're gonna do some pecan candies. So I looked at the caramels in the cupboard, and they're flavored with apple. I don't know about that, so we won't do that. So we're just gonna do some candied pecans. So I made these for Thanksgiving, and everybody loved them so much. So here I'm thinking this is about a cup of pecans. So I'm not gonna do a whole ton, just because, and also I don't need that much. I don't need all of this. So I'm just gonna put some pecans in a saucepan, and a little sugar, cinnamon, vanilla, a little water, just to kind of help it to start. I know I'm just eyeballing this. This is probably bad, but yeah, I think. And you can put whatever spices you want. I'm a cinnamon girly. Like, don't give me nutmeg. I do like cloves though. Cloves and ginger. But I'm just gonna sprinkle some cinnamon and put a little vanilla. And what I'm gonna do, and some water. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna let this kind of cook on the stove while we finish up our chat. And it's gonna, with the water and the sugar and the vanilla, it's gonna caramelize. And then as it caramelizes, it's gonna adhere to the pecans. And I sprayed a pan over there, and I'm just gonna, after they look done, I mean, this is very rudimentary. There's no rhyme or reason thought recipe to this. It's just kind of, again, how you're feeling with it. So I think you could do this with, I don't know, I've only tried this with pecans. I haven't tried this with any other nut. Oh, I'm gonna put a little dash of salt. So once it's all boiled and caramelized together, and you spread it on the pan, you just break it up with your hands, and there you go. You got some pecan candy. All right, let me do that. Okay, so I know that being nervous about something new is common, about starting something new, about putting ourselves out there is something to, yes, be nervous about, but I think it's also something to be excited about. And especially if you're doing something new, and like I am, and you have felt the pull to do that, to do it. It's not just like, you have felt the calling, the urgency, it's always been on your heart to do. I think it's important to look at, like, okay, we're being called. Why? There must be a purpose. There must be something. And I've definitely, over the past 5-6 years, I've heard little flittings of, oh, there needs to be this or there needs to be that. And it kind of just spurs on, like, okay, maybe I am doing the right thing because it looks like it is needed, because I've, heard that. And then the other day we got some takeout, and there was a fortune cookie on the table, and I was like, oh, I'll just open it and read it. And I was really feeling nervous about this new venture. And inside it said, follow your dreams, like, do it, do the thing. And I kind of got a tear in my eye because I was like, okay, if this isn't a sign, like, I'm kind of, I don't know what I am about signs. That's another day, another topic. But yeah. So if you're feeling like there's something in your life that you're nervous about starting, nervous about, something that's, you are feeling a tug to, please know that I feel like if you feel it in your bones, yeah, that's something that you should do. Just go and do it. Help this to be your sign to just get up and do it. So, yeah. All right, friends, this is going to take a little bit to boil and a little bit to caramelize and solidify. I do hear it, but it's going to take a sec, because to get up to that candy temperature, that's one thing to have in your kitchen, is a candy thermometer. I have one, and honestly, I don't know where it is. I have to look around for it. I don't know. Those are good to have, because if you're making candy or if you're doing other things, when I get to making buckeyes, you don't really need a candy thermometer, because you can just melt the chocolate to what you want it to be. But yeah, there are some recipes that call for one, and it might be a good idea for that, but we're just gonna eyeball it. Oh my goodness, I'm just winging it all today. All right, friends. Well, thank you for joining me on this episode of all these fun holiday nut candies. I hope you enjoy and do some of your own mixings, like figure some, like own pairings and concoctions. Super yummy, super fun. All right, friends. Whether the salt in your recipe comes from tears or a teaspoon, just remember, we baked it out. See you next time.